So I'm hearing that they didn't know who they were dealing with when it came to you. They didn't know. But soon they found out. Okay. They didn't know. They didn't know who they were dealing with in the beginning. Hey, soul family. I am Mystic Alchemy for those who don't know me. Welcome. Okay, so let's see what Spirit is talking about. I just keep on hearing, I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. They didn't know that you were someone who is very independent. You're not someone who seeks a relationship to use people because you get your own. I'm hearing you do your own thing. Like you don't seek a relationship. You don't seek a relationship for help. I just heard you don't seek a relationship for financial purposes. You're someone who knows how to create their own happiness. You don't need you're not someone who feels like you need a relationship to be happy. I heard you suffice by yourself on your own. Your own energy is enough. So if you're with someone, it's because you want to be. They were thinking that you were like everyone else that they've dealt with in the past. But you're true. I feel like they dealt with a lot of people that were not honest. They lied a lot. Used them. I feel like somebody was used before in relationships and they thought that you are someone who uses people. Like they thought you were a user. Like a taker and not a giver. So they doubted you in a relationship, and they often caused like conflict, and it became an issue for you because it was like, I heard when you were being honest, they thought that you weren't telling the truth. There's times when you felt like it's either they told you that you're not telling the truth, or you felt like they thought that you were lying, but you were being honest. So they defeated the chances that they had with you. They defeated them, like they caused the issue. They caused the relationship to not get to that point of being able to grow. Because of the misconception that they had towards you. You had to heal from this situation. Because of how this person handled themselves, like how they carried themselves. I heard something happen that made them notice that you're protected, but I'm not sure what that's about yet. I have to look and see. The sun is here. They understand why you wanted to leave. I feel like a lot of you told whoever you were with that you weren't happy, or if you didn't say it, you felt it, and they felt your energy shift. You feel like you want to give to someone who is someone who's encouraging, someone who has like a positive mindset, like who's not pessimistic. I feel like you've been in relationships with people that have been pessimistic. So you would rather someone who has an optimistic outlook but is still realistic, to where they understand that things happen that might not be favorable at times, but then at the same time they still have a positive perspective towards it, like, you know, a positive attitude towards it. It's better to say a positive attitude towards it. With this person, you might have felt like, the past person, you may have felt like everything was always like a negative connotation attached to something, like something was always negative. And that energy like brought your energy down. That made you feel down because they always had a problem with something. Something was always wrong. And that became like a draining environment for you. Like I just heard you were trying to keep yourself above water, like trying to breathe, like trying to stay above water. I just heard. I heard you knew you had to leave to protect like your mind. I feel like this person may have often like attacked your intelligence or your validity, like almost like trying to say that whatever you said was not correct, or, you know, like something's wrong with what you were saying, or things that you felt, or ways that you tried to express yourself. They always try to make it seem like there was a flaw in your perspective. And that's what really caused the relationship to go down, because you were feeling like you weren't heard. It was to the point where you felt like it wasn't, like, what's the point of me even saying anything? Like, what's the point of me saying anything if they're not going to hear me anyway? They always have something negative to say. And I feel like you may have like checked out. I feel like you may have checked out of the situation because they were so like unattentive that you had checked out. And I feel like they felt you check out. I heard that's when they realized how dangerous you are, because your energy shifted and they felt it. However your energy shifted, it made them feel uncomfortable. But it wasn't like, it's not like you were trying to make them uncomfortable. It's just you were fed up. You were tired of the same issue on repeat. So you had to, it's like your energy went on lockdown. Like you locked yourself up. It's almost like from preventing yourself from doing something that you might not really want to do, or saying something that you might not want to say. And there's also something about you not wanting to overextend your energy for someone who doesn't deserve your time. It's like this, it's given this energy of you recognizing that you are so much, you have so much value and you're worth so much more that you can't stoop to this person's level, because you started to see how low they would go, like how low they will go. And you're like, no, I'm gonna give my energy to someone who appreciates my energy. I said who appreciates my energy. I'm gonna give my energy to someone who appreciates my energy, not someone who doesn't even acknowledge my perspective. So what is this about? I heard that they realized you were dangerous. They realized that you were dangerous because they tried to judge you, and it didn't work, because your power of love works through you. So your power is stronger than what they were giving to you. Your power was stronger than the neglect that they inflicted on you. And that's why you were able to break free from their chains. Like you were able to break free from their chains because I heard you allow the power of love to dominate in your life. Yeah. You realize that you were working on a situation that is ended. You realize that it ended. So once you realize that it ended, it's like, why should I even put any type of energy? And when you shut down, you confuse this person. You made them feel excuse me, you made them feel uncomfortable. That's why they started seeing you as dangerous, because you may have been the type to kind of try to fix things and try to talk about it, and they know that and they're used to that way, but you had gotten so fed up that you had nothing else to say. I heard there was nothing left to say. There was nothing left to say. You thought about your passion, like how passionate you are in a relationship, and you thought about how much love that you gave, and it's like, okay, so I know I gave my love to you, and you it's like they weren't meeting you halfway. And now that's what made you recognize that it was time for you to check out. And you stopped paying attention to anything that they had to say, because it wasn't, you felt like, what was the point? What is the point? What else do you want to tell them, Spirit? I heard separation anxiety. Maybe that's what they're feeling. Maybe you felt that for a while, possibly, because it's like you may have had a realization that it's really over, and maybe it made you a little anxious at one point. But then you have that true wisdom. You have so much wisdom that even if you were thinking like that for a short time, those feelings began to dissipate, because it's like you embody your own healing fruit. I just heard. You embody your own healing fruit. So you were able to like heal yourself with your mind. It was the power of your mind and your experiences that helped you along the way. You may have liked to take walks or just go out and enjoy nature when you felt frustrated. Maybe that made you feel better at times to go out and take a walk, or just go to the park, or maybe read a book outside, or even at home. It's like, but I'm feeling like nature. You would like to do things, some of you, like go out in nature, and it would make you feel better. I feel like you forced yourself to ground yourself when you started getting in your head too much, because I feel like there was a certain point in time where you were in your head too much, and then it's like you had took your strength back and you said no. Like I feel like there was a point where you took your strength back and you said no. Like, what am I doing? Why am I still right here? And I feel like you made a different choice for yourself, because you recognize that you can make a choice. Nourish the soul priorities. You put your priorities in check, and your priorities are simply that you want peace and that you are an earth angel. So you really recognized your value. That's what you did. You recognized your value and you went with that. You held on to it. You held on tight to the fact that you recognized your value and understood that this person did not. So it's like you felt like you were unwelcome around them, because that's the energy that they gave. They're realizing how dangerous you are. I'm hearing that again, because they didn't understand how powerful you are. They didn't understand how you can not withstand, but how you were able to jump the hurdle that they put before you. Like how you were able to jump over that hurdle and not trip and fall. Like you didn't fall. And this is what they had expected from you. And you were able to see yourself clearly. They didn't know. They didn't know that you actually had all that strength within you. Many of you may be in like a feminine energy where you don't come off confrontational. You may not be confrontational, but it's like an energy where you were in disguise. I just heard. That's why they couldn't see you. I feel like the Most High cloaked you with this protection so that you could see the truth about this person. It was for you to see. So you were protected and cloaked so that this person couldn't see everything. It's like they saw some things, but they weren't able to see everything. And they could have seen it if they weren't like sitting and acting in that energy that they were in. But being that they were in that energy to try to peg you down, like decrease your worth in some way, being that they were in that energy to try to act in that manner, like that's where they went wrong. That's where they went wrong, because they tricked themselves into believing that you were one way, but there's different layers to you, and that's what they weren't ready for. I heard they feel like you weren't honest with them because they didn't see that part of you. But that doesn't mean you weren't honest with them. You only react a certain way when you are in a certain circumstance. You know, under certain circumstances, you react a certain way. There's no reason for you to behave with anger and aggression or with silence, or I feel like you were too mysterious, and that's what made them feel like you're dangerous, because they felt that you became a mystery to them, is what I'm hearing. You set up an energetic boundary with this boundaries card coming out here, fences and flowers. I heard in order for your flowers to grow, you had to fence them in. So there was a time before where you used to attempt to heal the relationship and heal certain maybe arguments or conversations that you had that may have been heated. There was a time when you would try to approach the situation to fix it, but once you realize that you were the only person and this person wasn't meeting you halfway, that's what this reading is about. You realizing that you weren't being met halfway, and you were putting in all of your energy, like exhausting yourself, trying to make a relationship work that wasn't working. And it's not that it wasn't working because the person I'm speaking to, you are someone who wants to heal a situation that's not working. You want to try to fix it. You want to try to talk about it, communicate. But this person was like a brick wall, like not communicating back to you, not giving you much of anything to work with so that there could be some type of like dialogue. There was no dialogue here. And if there was any dialogue, it would be this person trying to criticize you for wanting to talk about it or your approach. But it was really just a way to avoid the conversation, or yeah, like that's what I'm feeling, like avoid the conversation. I heard when they don't talk about it, they felt like they had more control. If they start to talk about it and go too deep, then they feel like they lose control, is what I'm getting here. So they try to avoid going too deep. If they avoid that, then they don't have to answer the tough questions that they really don't want to answer. I heard they were taught that to do that. I'm hearing someone in their family that acted the same way. They learned that from them. And this is somebody that's like a toxic family member or a toxic elder that taught them to do this way to control their people, to control who they're in a relationship with. It's a control tactic. They learned it from someone. It's either they watched it or someone literally sat down and said, this is what you do. You renewed yourself by allowing yourself to be honest about what you were truly seeing. You allowed yourself to be honest about it. And the truth was that they weren't meeting you halfway. You were putting in most of the effort. You tried to communicate, but it didn't work because this person would shut down and build up walls and wouldn't let you through. And then it's like, it got to the point, that's why you got to the point where I heard you built up a fence to protect your flowers, to protect your growth. And then it's either you left already, or if you're in the situation now, you're preparing to leave because it's just not working. If this message resonates with you, you know what I'm saying. And you don't make it fit. If it doesn't fit, it's fine, because all messages are not going to resonate with everyone. But if this message resonates with you, you're going to know because it's confirmation for you. And it's to also just, I heard Spirit wants you to recognize your feelings if you're unsure if you're doing the right thing. Spirit wants you to recognize your feelings. So they want you to know that you were feeling correctly. If this is how you were feeling. Like you're putting in all this effort and this person is not even meeting you halfway. You got tired, you shut down, you say, you know what, I'm going to keep all the rest of my sanity, my integrity, and I'm going to hold on to it and prepare myself to move into the next phase of my life without this person. Because you know that you are created to be around growth, because that's what you're into. You're into growth. You're into expansion. So if there's anyone around you that's not into that, it's not going to work with you. And I heard you, it sounds like I tried long enough. I did that for long enough. I'm not doing that anymore. It was long enough. And I heard long enough may have been too long, but maybe it was just right. Long enough may have been too long, but maybe it was just right. You saw what you needed to see in this situation. Because you were feeling trapped. And being in this darkness is what brought the sunshine here. Because I have the sunshine out here twice. You being in the darkness and feeling trapped is what brought out the light. The light comes from the darkness. The darkness cannot come from the light. So being in that dark moment in your past, in that relationship or relationships, where you may have experienced this multiple times, now you know better. You're like, I already see the flags, I already see the signals, and I already know that now it's time to go. And I'm not going that way anymore. I'm not going in the direction that's going to bring me back to these emotions and these feelings of knowing that I have to protect my growth. Like if you're in like a relationship where you feel like you have to protect your growth, you already know that's not a good relationship. Because that means that this person is causing you to be stagnated or like they have an agenda to stall your growth, stall your ability to move into whatever direction you want to move into. I heard if you wanted to change your mind, they would not support you, whatever that means. Or maybe there's something like that happened where you wanted to change your mind about something and they didn't support you. Whatever that is, I don't know what that is, but that means something to somebody. Serendipity. This was fated to happen even though it was hard, because now you're never going to do that again. Like you're at that point where you're going to see things that you didn't see before because you weren't paying attention, or you didn't know to look at certain things. Not even like you weren't paying attention, but maybe it just missed you because you weren't looking for something bad inside of somebody. Like you have a tendency, or you had a tendency before, not to look for somebody's downfall, but now it's like you're keeping your eyes open. It's not like you're looking for something negative in a person, but at the same time, you're keeping your eyes and ears open, because if you see something, you're going to be like, okay, I seen it. I know I needed to see that. Okay, I saw it. All right, I saw it. I'm going to be honest with myself, because I did see it, and I was supposed to see it. Because Spirit will put things right in your face so you can use your discernment. I split the deck just to get a message real quick, and discernment came out. The observer. And that's just what I was talking about. Be the observer to assess the energy from an intuitive viewpoint. A bird's eye view is necessary to see the situation from a different perspective. It is wise to resist impulsive decisions or assumptions to see the bigger picture. Yeah. So it's like with this situation, it expanded your mind and it made you see you clearer than you did before. It's like recognizing the fact that, like, if this person is not meeting me halfway, there's no point in me putting my energy here. My energy is not valued here, so why should I be here? You know, that's the energy that I'm picking up from you. It's like and this is for anything. If there's a place where you're going and you're not valued, that's not the place for you, because you should be valued. That means you are not in the right crowd at that point. If you just feel like you're not valued and appreciated. Because it's like everyone has something special to offer under many different circumstances. So you want to be in a place where you can grow and learn. Because when you're not valued, there's no growth and no learning in places like that, because it's like an automatic rejection, and your body might reject it. Like, say for instance, you were in like some type of environment that it just wasn't in alignment with you, and you just feel like, I gotta go. I need to leave. I'm not supposed to be here. That is your frequency rejecting the environment because it's not for you. It doesn't align with your soul's frequency, with your heart's frequency. So that's when that intuition kicks in, and you're like, I gotta go. I can't be here anymore. It's time for me to go. I don't know. You might not even know exactly what it is, but you know it's time to go. And I feel like that's a part of how you felt with this situation, but you knew, like, why. You may have had times where you second guess yourself, wondering if you're making the right decision, you know, out of just not wanting to give up. You may have been there in that place for just a short time, but once you saw that this person wasn't meeting you halfway, it keeps on going back to that, not meeting me halfway. You know, because then you're doing everything by yourself. So you might as well be by yourself then, until you end up, you know, crossing paths with someone that could possibly be a potential person that can actually communicate well, and that is willing to meet you halfway. Like, as simple as that, to try to make it work. Because if you're putting in all the work, you're gonna be exhausted, overwhelmed, stressed out. That's like somebody in a relationship that does everything and the other person does nothing. Like, imagine somebody that goes to work, they come home, they cook dinner, they wake up in the morning, they cook breakfast, they get the kids ready for school, then pick the kids up from school, and then what is the other person doing? Oh, they just going to go see their friends, or they're in the house watching TV all day. And one person is doing absolutely everything. That person is going to get tired and stressed out. You know? That's not like a relationship. That's just somebody just there. You know, that's the energy that I'm picking up. So Spirit just wants you to know that you did the right thing and you're not thinking wrong, because you're choosing the route that promotes growth and healing to your soul and your heart, and also protection, like protecting your future. Because when you stay with someone that you know you're supposed to, or that you feel you're supposed to get away from because they're like spoiling your circumstances or stagnating your circumstances, if you stay, they could truly mess up your future. Or you could mess up your future by making this decision to stay. Because if you stay, then all the people and places and things that you were supposed to do would never happen, because you didn't get a chance to go out bowling that day. I'm just gonna give something random. You didn't get a chance to go bowling that day to meet that person that your friend brought along, that ended up being a good friend, that then invited you to a concert, and they introduced you to somebody else, and then you ended up getting invited to somebody's birthday party, and then you met somebody else, and then you met the love of your life there. You see what I'm talking about? Like, it might have been a little extra, but I'm just saying, like, that's real. And you don't want to eliminate a beautiful future by staying with someone who can't even meet you halfway. It's so much better to just drop them sooner rather than later and just move on, so that you can actually meet all those beautiful people that actually do support you, do value you, and that you can have beautiful, healthy relationships with. Okay, so that's all I have for you for this message. I hope it does help you in some way. All right, always remember that God is in you and the magic is too, because you're magic. Much love to you, honey roses. Bye.